So yes, a long conversation, a lot of information right now. I hope you guys are still following me. I'm really just trying to drive the point home of staying on top of your physical body and staying on top of your internal health, and how when you do those things, you will be more successful on not only your current weight loss journey, but maintaining that weight long term.
Please don't take this personal, but you ain't shit. You weren't special till I made you so. You better act like you know that I've been through worse to you. I just can't keep running away. But I don't need you. I don't need you. I don't need you. I don't need you.
Good morning, guys. Welcome back to yet another Discipline Diary, and happy May. The Discipline Diaries is dedicated to my life after massive weight loss. As y'all know, I've lost 125 pounds, and I am showing y'all and walking y'all through what I do to maintain that, what I eat in a day, my workouts, and I'm always going to have some type of weight loss or wellness or mindset tip for you to help you on your own journey. But first, if you're new here, hey girl, hey, my name is Janae, and I make a lot of content focused on fitness, wellness, and self-development, and helping you and I live our best healthy and active lives. So if that sounds like something you're into, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I post a lot of different content over there. Give this video a big thumbs up and comment down below and let me know, when is the last time you have been to the doctor? What does your internal health look like? Are you up to date with these things? Because today's chat is going to be focused about my own internal health and the updates I found out. Right now, I'm running out the house because I have my very first plastic surgery consultation through insurance. So more on that here in a second. But if you haven't watched my loose skin after losing 125 pounds video, I'll link it in the cards right here so that you can get caught up. But this is the first of many plastic surgery consultations that I will be doing and bringing y'all on. So if you have any questions, drop them right now in the comments. First and foremost, happy May. Welcome to a new month. What are your plans? What are your goals? What are some things that you want to achieve this month? May just brings out something else in me. Like, I feel like April is such an in-between month. If you follow me on Instagram, then you know I talked about this in my stories just the other day. But I don't know, April is like such an in-between month. You know, April shower, so it rains all the time. It's still gloomy. It's still kind of cold, but then you get the glimpse of warmth. And so it's like, yay, spring, I'm happy. And then no, it's gloomy. Seasonal depression is trying to pull me back. Let's jump right into today's weight loss, wellness, health type of chat. Y'all know I always have some type of conversation for y'all in these episodes. And so I want to focus today on your internal health and keeping up with that, because it's not just about weight loss here. Like, I always preach to y'all about sustainable weight loss for long-term success. That's exactly where I'm at. That has been the least toxic route for me, that has given me the most success, which is why I preach it so much to y'all. And that means we're not only just caring about what we're eating and how we're working out and what the scale says. That means we're staying on top of our internal health and not waiting until last minute, until something like pops up. And so y'all know, if you watch any of my previous episodes, like, I talked about a few things with y'all. I talked about my knee pain. I talked about my shoulder pain. I talked about my high cholesterol. I talked about my night sweats and how my cycles are changing and all that stuff. Well, I finally got an answer for the most part, or at least the start of an answer that's going to lead me to the right direction. I'm taking my own advice and taking things more seriously and like staying on top of these things. And it came at the perfect time. I'm still kind of trapped in that whole first of the month mindset. I try not to be, because you can start your wellness journey at any point, but it's just something about the first of the month, a Monday, a Sunday, a first of year, first of quarter. Like, it's something about that like gives you that spark to like refocus you and recenter you on your goals. So I had an appointment with my primary care doctor earlier this week, and we addressed a few things: my knee pain and my shoulder pain. Now, my knee pain is chronic, and I kind of like flared it up and messed it up a little bit after my 10-mile race that I did. I did an episode on that, and then like 2 days later I did a leg day, and I've been like down and out. I haven't ran, I haven't lifted. Like, honestly, since last week, I've literally been giving my knee and my shoulder a break, which has been very beneficial. So it's definitely important to listen to your body. When you need a break, have a break. It's okay. The great news with that is that, at least for right now, there's no surgeries that he's thinking that I'm going to need, no shots in the knee, because I heard that could be a little tricky and deteriorating your knee more and stuff like that. And so he diagnosed my left knee pain as just runner's knee. Nothing that is like super serious that's going on there, but he did put in a referral for physical therapy. He did give me some at-home information for physical therapy that I can do in the meantime, because this is going to be a lengthy process with me getting into a physical therapist. But and this is important with advocating for your own health, and I'm going to circle back to this point here in a second. For my shoulder pain, he did the whole range of motion, different types of exercises and stuff like that, or movements I should say, and pretty much said that where the pain is coming from, because it's only right here in the front, like right in the underarm area, he's like that is my pectoral minor. So you have a bunch of muscles in the back that supports like your pectoral major, but then you have the small ligaments and joints and all that stuff like that supports the pectoral minor. So that's where I'm getting that soreness at. That can tear, but he's like, he's not concerned about that right now. It's just probably stressed. So he gave me some at-home physical therapy things that I can do. And this is a newer pain, so we're not diagnosing it as chronic. My knee, however, is chronic. It's been an issue since me being overweight. And though the weight loss has helped, it's not cured. And so that he also was like doing some range of motion movements and stuff like that, and doesn't think that I need anything too serious. He gave me some at-home things that I should do, but I told him I want to do physical therapy, which he wasn't against. He's like, if you want to do it, like he was just telling me how long the process is going to be, but he's like, I'm not trying to like stray you away from it. If you want to do it, we can still put in a referral. And I'm like, yes, put in a referral. And this is why it's important to be your own healthcare advocate. Like I could have just listened to him and been like, yeah, I'll just take the pamphlets or whatever. But I'm like, this physical therapy conversation has been something that previous doctors have said to me as well. And so I'm at the point where I want to take care of my body long term so that hopefully I don't have to do knee surgery. And so I'm like, yes, just go ahead and throw in that referral. I'm not going to even give it some time, because he was like, you can give it some time. And I'm like, no, just put in the referral, damn it. That's why it's important to understand and know that you know your body. Like, yes, these doctors know the medical side of your body, but if you're working with a different provider all the time, which I am for the most part, being a military spouse, you know your body better than they do. And so if you feel like, something is wrong or you would benefit from something else, bring the conversation up to your doctor. They are there to help you, to get you to a better space. And here is the thing, when it comes to taking care of your body and your weight loss journey, because if you're only still stuck in that weight loss mindset, I'm going to bring this all together for you on why it's important to take care of your body and your internal health. Because I had so much pain in my shoulder and in my knee, it forced me to have to sit down and not run and not work out. Well, that means I'm not burning as many calories as I'm used to, which means I can't eat as many calories as I'm used to, which means I have to be in a higher calorie deficit that my body is not used to, which means it's going to trigger me to want to eat more. So I may pack on a couple pounds, or I may not lose weight or maintain my weight, or whatever the case may be. So if you are so focused on weight loss and you're in pain, you're sore, you're not properly recovering, or you're not listening to your body and maybe needing some type of therapy for your body to take care of it better, that's going to affect your weight loss journey, because you're not able to perform the way you're used to performing when it comes to your fitness. Does that make sense? So, this is why I stress to, yes, do the things that, we all have to do to lose weight, but there are other factors that are associated with this as well. So another thing that we talked about, I thought I was due for a PAP, but apparently I'm not. They keep changing the things for this. I guess because after you're 30, if you do your HPV screening and you've always had a normal pap smear, then they screen you every 5 years. So pretty much I'm due next year. But as y'all know, I talked about this before, like I've been experiencing night sweats. I've been experiencing not abnormal cycles, but heavier and crampier cycles. And these symptoms pretty much all happened in the last 6 months. My libido has decreased. And so I'm like, that's what triggered me to be like, let's do the pap smear, and let's also like figure out like my hormones, like what is going on, because these changes happened in the last 6 months, pretty much when my weight had stabilized, because I've been in the 160 since August. So I talked to my provider about that stuff. He ran all of my hormones. We've even talked about like my facial hair. He saw some that was on my chest. Like these are signs of PCOS as well. So we just checked my all of my hormone levels, and I just got them back, but I need to do a follow-up appointment with him via phone call to see what the next steps are. So apparently all of my hormones are coming back normal. My estrogen, my testosterone, there was like a few other things he ran, but all of those are coming back normal except for my thyroid. So my thyroid, and this, I've known about this for years now, but it never really sinked in until right now when he explained it to me. So my thyroid levels, your thyroid levels, the main one that they check is the TSH, the thyroid sensitive hormone. That's like the common one that they check. That has always came back normal for me. And I was talking to a different provider that I had a few months ago, and I was like, I could have sworn I had hypothyroidism, Hashimotos. And she checked my hormones. She's like, no, your hormones are fine. And I'm like, I know I'm not making this up, because I had a thyroid ultrasound as well, which came back normal at the time. But I'm like, I know I'm not bugging. And I know once you're diagnosed with this isn't something that just cures up and go away just because I had lost weight. So I explained this to my new provider, who ran all of the proper hormone checks. So that's your T3 and your T4 and your thyroid antibodies pretty much. So he ran all of those plus my TSH. My T3 has come back normal. My T4 has come back normal. My TSH has come back normal. But the antibodies is what is elevated and has always been elevated, because I was able to go back a few years to see where this like happened, and I knew I wasn't tripping. Which is why, again, and I told you I was going to circle back to this point, it's important to be your own healthcare advocate and pay attention to what all of the doctors are telling you, but also what your lab work and previous lab work is telling you, because I could have let that doctor gaslight me into believing that my thyroid was fine. But no, it's not a common test that they just do all the time. And so I first got triggered to even do this the first time back in 2020. I have records of it. I'm pretty sure the earliest was back in 2020, when I was struggling to lose weight. And now we're understanding why I'm bringing this up, because it points right back to your weight loss journey. So when I was struggling to lose weight, I believe I was at Fort Bragg at the time. The doctor there in North Carolina, she had ran my thyroid stuff. And she was the one who told me that, yeah, my thyroid, she didn't fully explain it to me, or maybe it just didn't register like it does now. But she's like, yeah, your thyroid is elevated, which is leading to Hashimotos, hypothyroidism. So I want to do your thyroid, get that ultrasound, which came back normal. She talked about, and they even prescribed a thyroid medication, but I know for a fact I never got on it, because I don't even like taking medication. So I never even like picked it up. Fast forward to now, when I explained that to the provider, and he told me my lab results, and he like messaged me. He's like, yeah, the antibody is elevated, which means it's Hashimoto's thyroiditis. And so pretty much I have Hashimoto's, which is leading to hypothyroidism, or is hypothyroidism. I need to do the follow-up with him just to see exactly what this means. But before we even got my lab results, he told me your antibodies could be elevated, but if your T3, your T4, and your TSH are all normal, then that means the antibodies are not attacking your thyroid yet, which means you don't need to be on medication just yet for it. It seems like your thyroid is still acting the way and performing the way that it should. But from my own research, after I got this diagnosis, I started doing my own research because I'm just a nerd like that, and I want to get as much information about my own body as I possibly can. My research was you can have normal TSH levels, but because the antibodies are elevated, those can trigger your symptoms, which a lot of the symptoms are tiredness, extreme tiredness, which I had that when I was overweight. Now it's more fatigue, which it still was. It was like lethargy, tiredness, extreme tiredness, and fatigue. I just have fatigue now. Another thing it says was decreased libido. Another thing it said was infertility, which is something that we dealt with for years, which is why there's such a huge age gap between our children. But heavy menstrual cycles, which is something that I'm starting to deal with now. Some other things are mild weight gain, which is something that I was dealing with, obviously, when I was overweight. And then even after having weight loss surgery, being on a GLP-1, my weight loss journey has not been picture perfect. Like, yes, you see me now, I've lost 125 pounds, but it has still been like a fight and a struggle. And it just all makes sense why now. And there's so many other symptoms, but that is just, if you know your body, like I just said, if you know your body, you're paying attention to your body, and you feel like something is just not right, get your thyroid check, ladies. Get your thyroid check, because we deal with this the most, and a lot of women deal with this a lot. And I started like posting some videos on my TikTok and Instagram talking about this, and so many women are showing up in my comments like, I have this too, I just got diagnosed with this, like. And so I'm going to be posting like a lot of content when it comes to this, because from my research, a lot of women are putting their symptoms into remission. They're decreasing their numbers. This is not something that can be cured. It's an autoimmune disease. It's not something that can be cured, but you can decrease your numbers. And so when I looked at my numbers, actually from 2020, it was like 400 and some change. And then I was on a weight loss journey because I had just had Gigi. So of course I'm trying to lose that baby weight. So in 2021, it had dropped to like 270 something, I believe. And then now that I just got them done, it's in the 180s. And so something that I have been researching was saying that like lifestyle changes and the way that you eat and stuff like that can help decrease the symptoms and put it in remission. Well, I've been on my most successful weight loss journey these last 2 years. Y'all know I pretty much eat an 80-20, I live an 80-20 lifestyle and eat an 80-20 diet, where majority of it is healthy, clean, whole foods. So I'm sure that has had an effect on my numbers decreasing. Now it's still elevated because the normal ranges is 0 to 34. 180 is still elevated, but it's just not as elevated as it was in 2020 when I was my highest weight of 287 pounds and it was its highest reading of 400 and some change. So yes, a long conversation, a lot of information right now. I hope you guys are still following me. I'm really just trying to drive the point home of staying on top of your physical body and staying on top of your internal health, and how when you do those things, you will be more successful on not only your current weight loss journey, but maintaining that weight long term. So I hope my story is really like making you think about your own life, your own story, what you have struggled with. Maybe you didn't even realize this stuff, and book an appointment with your doctor to see like what is going on internally. So for right now, my plan of action is going to be changing up my diet. I bought a couple of books that I am going to be reading over the next few days. One is the Hashimoto's protocol, and then another thing that I have been seeing is the Anti-Inflammatory diet, AIP diet. And it's not something that you're on long term, but it's to get rid of some inflammation in your body and see what foods and stuff are triggering your body. So that's something that I'm going to be doing. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't dove into the books yet, but I'm not 100% sure how long I'll be doing it. But I know it's like a short form diet. It's like 30 to 90 days, something like that, from what I briefly saw. Don't quote me on that, but of course there is more to come. Of course, you know I'm gonna be taking y'all along with me. That's the point of this series. But for now, I'm on my way to base because this appointment is for loose skin removal, but via insurance. So I've already had one plastic surgery consultation, but it was last year, back in February, I believe, and it was with my dream clinic. It was Athenics with Dr. Dry in Seattle, but my consultation wasn't with him. It was with one of the ladies that I guess are trained to do it. I've lost 25 pounds since then. I would like to lose an additional 20 pounds, but we will see. But I actually have another consultation with them on Monday, so more to come for that. But today, this is for insurance. I'm a military spouse, so I have TRICARE Prime. We're located on the West Coast, just in case you're also a military spouse. I do not have high hopes when it comes to insurance and it covering my loose skin, what it can do, whatever the case may be. I really don't have any high hopes. I know it's hard getting it approved through insurance, but when I did my 2-year post-op weight loss surgery appointment with my surgeon, he did approve me to go ahead and start the journey. So like, why not get as much information as I could and see what could be offered? But again, I have no high hopes. But I think I'm gonna I'll give y'all like a brief overview of what I learned today, but I think I'm gonna make this its own separate video because based off of the loose skin video that I did for y'all, a lot of y'all was interested in my plastic surgery journey. I talked about like even possibly going down to Mexico. I got more information about that. Yeah, pretty much wanted me to take y'all along with me with my plastic surgery journey. So I'm definitely going to do a separate video. It will be a very long installment, this journey. But that will most likely be a video I post next week when I do my second consultation, just to have all of the information together for y'all. But I will check y'all out later. So I just finished my consultation, and a couple things that I will end up addressing in the plastic surgery video next week. But something during the consultation that kind of like triggered me, kind of like snapped me out of my weight loss journey possibly, was that one, I stood up, opened my robe, and she was like, oh my god, you have such a nice figure. And I'm like, thank you. And then as we're casually talking, she's like, yeah, you're so petite, so this, that. And I was like, it like literally like 2 minutes later, I'm like, wait, did you just call me petite? Like, you think I'm small? I was like, I told her, I'm like, I'm literally sitting here thinking like, oh, I'm gonna lose another 20 pounds. And she's like, yeah, the mind, especially after losing that much weight, still needs a little bit of a chance to catch up to what you've done. But she's like, no, you have a nice shape. You are petite, like, you're good. And so that made me think like, well, do I actually want to lose another 20 pounds? Because here's the thing, as we were talking about my loose skin and stuff, and I'm like, everyone that's seen my loose skin video, they're like, do you have lymphedema? Do you have lymphedema? And she's like, no, that's not lymphedema. I'm like, whatever. She says no, that's what I'm gonna go with. I do have another consultation. I'm still going to ask him his thoughts, but no, she's like, sometimes it's just residual skin and fat that is left there. That doesn't mean that there's some type of other disorder. So whatever. Like, I was showing her my belly fat as well, and I was telling her how these are the last 2 areas that like are taking a long time to come off. And pretty much like if I get that removed, which she's like, I can do those 2 together, that will be the bulk of the 20 pounds that I want to lose. And I keep saying like, I am comfortable right here. So if I drop down to the 140s, the 150s, and then get my loose skin removed and then end up being like 125, 130, I'm not sure if I'm going to like that. So it's definitely making me think like maybe my weight loss journey has come to an end. I'm still not sure. I'm I'm still not back home, and the only thing that I've had so far was 16 ounces of water. I am starting the AIP diet today on May 1st, and still don't know how long I'm going to be doing it for. It's most likely going to be 90 days per the protocol, but we'll see. But I can have bone broth on this diet, so I'm going to start my day, and I'm probably going to continuously start my day off with water and then bone broth. So I'm gonna have a serving of this right now. Hi guys, it's been a few hours, still haven't eaten anything yet. I've been diving into the book, trying to see what all is approved, a part of this protocol. I'm gonna make things easier for me, however, because I still haven't like fully been able to deep dive into any of the books yet, but I did come up with a small little list, and because I work the next 6 nights in a row, I'm just gonna grab a couple of items, very basic. That way I can kind of like meal prep and just have some stuff done. And while I'm at work, I can like read the books and fully deep dive into all of the approved things that are on the list, and then expand my meals from there. But for these next few days, it's pretty much going to be a meal prep, just so that I can keep things simple. Y'all know how it is when I go to work and I'm working overnight. I just keep things simple. Do a little grocery haul. I did end up popping into Walmart as well, just to get a couple things that Costco doesn't, and it's right next door. So I got some herbal tea. I can't have any caffeine, which sucks because I just got into my protein coffee era, but that's okay. That is okay. I got some raspberry leaf tea and chamomile tea. I also got these microwavable sweet potatoes just so that I can eat them today, because, you know, normal sweet potatoes take forever to cook. I'm about to actually pop this in the microwave right now so that I can finally eat something. We got some mint leaves and some ginger for my water infusions. I can't have anything artificial, which means no Crystal Light or, you know, anything like that. And I have an issue with drinking plain water, so we're gonna have to do water infusions. I got some minced garlic. For meats from Costco, I got some shrimp, got some chicken breast, which you can cook these from frozen, which is gonna be great because I still wanna make sure that my meals are quick and fast. I got some salmon. And then I also got their ground beef, which I typically don't buy, but it is organic. What I don't like is that it's 85/15. And so it's not as lean as I normally eat, which means it is a little bit more fat, but I'll balance it out with whatever it is that I eat for the rest of the day. It's fine. And this is pretty much a fruits and vegetable heavy type of haul. So I got more apples, some broccoli, more avocados, some spinach, my berries, of course. We have a ton of blueberries still, so it's the only one that I didn't have to buy, but I bought all of the other ones. I got more bone broth, and got some cucumbers to snack on, sweet potatoes to actually cook. I got some lemons for my water, Brussels sprouts, some spray avocado oil, and then some olive oil to drizzle. And I got some carrots. I've been killing the carrots lately. And more cucumbers. Before I put any of this away, I'm gonna finally make me something to eat. I still have yet to eat. I'm gonna have that sweet potato with some spinach, some of the ground beef, and I'll probably have half of an avocado. And there is the first meal of the day. Very colorful, very filling, very good. This meal is 601 calories, has 37 grams of protein, it has 33 grams of fat, and it has 43 grams of carbs. About to have a little snack before I go upstairs and walk on the walking pad and edit today's video. cardio and walking on the treadmill for an hour. I'm not doing the gym today. I haven't been for the last week just because of a little knee injury that is pretty much healed. So I think, since I work 6 days in a row, I normally go to the gym on my lunch break. I think my body is good enough to go to the gym, start going back to the gym tomorrow morning. So that's what I'm going to do. But I did still hit my 12,000 steps for the day, got an hour of cardio in. And now before work, I'm going to eat a little something and then also pack a little something that is still part of the AIP protocol. So I'm going to be doing some cod here with some cauliflower rice. Then I'm also going to have some broccoli, and I am heating up another sweet potato. I'm actually going to take this for dinner. I don't know if I already said that, but for right now, I'm just cooking 2 servings of shrimp, the other half of that cauliflower rice, and I'm going to have some Brussels sprouts with that, with the half of the sweet potato. I am on my way to work now. As y'all saw, I had the shrimp with the cauliflower rice, and that was with Brussels sprouts and some avocado. And then for a snack, which I don't even know if I'm going to be able to make it through all my meals just because I had ate so late in the day. But for a snack, I packed berries, blackberries, raspberries, and blueberries, 40 grams each, and 1 date. And then for dinner, when I take my dinner break, which I may take my dinner break just a little bit later in the evening, which may help me for my workout later on, tomorrow. But I'm having the cod with broccoli, the other half of the cauliflower rice with the sweet potato, and more avocado. So that's going to be the meals, the rotation for the next few days. With plain old water. I am able to drink herbal tea, so I did pack the raspberry tea that I bought earlier and the chamomile tea just to give my water some flavor. I've been drinking plain water all day today. I'm proud of myself that I have been, really doing it with the plain water. But I actually need to up my water intake. I think I got about 48 ounces in right now, so I'm halfway through my water goal. So on top of eating I still need to drink. Oh my god, it's hilarious because I know myself already. It's because I've just waited so late to eat, even though I was working pretty early to drink. But either way, it was a high restriction day for me, which is fine. The thing about this diet is that it's plain. You're barely using any seasonings. It's not approved. You really have to tap into the herbs, which I'm not going to have the time to with my work schedule for this first week of it. So it's going to be pretty much cinnamon and garlic this entire first 7 days, but that's fine. The point is to lower my inflammation anyway. So we'll see what happens. And I don't know if I said this already, but I'm not doing this for weight loss purposes. If you watched the how to set a goal weight video that I actually posted today, then you would have saw that I changed my goal weight and I'm at my goal weight. Now naturally, in that video, I talked about me doing body recomposition, cutting my body fat percentage, adding more lean muscle mass. With doing that, there may be some weight fluctuations. I may lose more weight. I'm still on the tirzepatide technically. That may make me lose more weight. And then doing something like this, a diet like this, where I'm not eating processed stuff, artificial stuff. The carbs that I'm eating is really coming from vegetables. So yeah, there will be some weight loss, but that's not the purpose of it. And I know as soon as I start to add things back into my diet, the weight will come back. So it's all good. I just wanted to make that clear. But essentially, a diet like this, it literally reminds me of the beginning of the solid food stage for weight loss surgery, where you're focusing in on your protein intake and your fruits and your vegetables. And if you have room for complex carbs, then you have them. And, you're drinking your plain water. You're not having any caffeine. It literally reminds me of the solid food stage of weight loss surgery. So I don't think this diet is going to be hard, especially because I already am eating pretty clean. So I'm just pretty much eating like 100% clean instead of doing the 80% that I normally do. I am glad that I took the week off from the gym and from running, so that with the transition into this very clean diet, I don't feel like a whiplash when it comes to my energy levels. And, you know, working out as hard as I do, plus this type of diet, like at least my body will get ready for what's to come with me doing this, eating first and then working out, even though I may go to the gym tomorrow. But tomorrow is Friday, so it's back and bicep day anyway, so it's not like too much of a heavy lifting. I'm supposed to run on Fridays, but you know, I don't run when I go to work, so I would just be focused on hitting my 12,000 steps for the day. Something I did completely forget to do today was take my supplements and my vitamins. So I'm not gonna be taking like my normal supplements that I'm taking. Like I'm gonna have to cut out the protein because I'm not supposed to have whey protein on this diet, at least not right now. I can have collagen, but I didn't end up taking any today, but it has to be unflavored, and I don't have any unflavored collagen from Clean Simple Eat, so I'm gonna have to order some. But I do still have some from Vital Protein, so I'll just use that until my order comes in. But I can't take my green supplement, which is fine because as y'all saw, I'm having nothing but fruits and vegetables, so that's fine. And but the main ones that I need to be taking is my calcium as a bariatric patient, is my multivitamin with iron as a bariatric patient, and then a new one that I read in the book was selenium, I believe it's called, which I ordered and it came, but I completely forgot to take my vitamins today. For my calories, I've intaken 1,497, and that's if I make it through the rest of my meals for the day. And then for my protein, it's 125 grams of protein, 48 grams of fat, and 152 grams of carbs with 40 grams of fiber. That's what's up. Like, you can definitely get your fiber in eating your fruits and vegetables. Like, duh, but like, it's nice to know. And like I said, I got 48 ounces of water in. So for the rest of the night, I'm just gonna be focused on trying to finish the rest of my meals and getting at least 40 more ounces. If not, like, this is 32 ounces. So at least finishing one of these before midnight is done and getting 2,000 more steps in. I'm gonna end it here. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, hit that bell icon, that way you're notified every single time I post a new video. Make sure you follow me on TikTok and Instagram. On TikTok, I'm always posting lives and answering your questions in a moment. And on Instagram, I'm super active in my stories. I do have a broadcast channel. They end up knowing the tea first, so make sure you follow me over there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.